So, recently, Bleacher Report put out a article saying who were the top five most overrated quarterbacks. Before I get into it, I when I first saw this, I was like, well, I need a name to attach to whoever put this blasphemy out. The guy's name is Alex Kay of Bleacher Report. He went ahead and said that Lamar Jackson is the most overrated quarterback of 2025. And he went on to say this about Lamar. He said Lamar Jackson may not be one of today's most overrated active quarterbacks, but also of all time. While his regular season statistics and team success are undoubtedly impressive, his .737 winning percentage is also one of the best in history. He hasn't found a way to deliver when it truly counts. The Baltimore Ravens star has been a four-time Pro Bowl and three-time All-Pro for his inflated regular season marks, but his two-time MVP status is borderline fraudulent. His credentials simply don't measure up to the other legends who have won the award on numerous occasions. What are we doing? Like, seriously, what are we doing? It doesn't, I mean, you guys, again, this is why I get so worked up when it comes to this guy. Not just because he's the quarterback on my favorite team, the Ravens, but the criticism and the stuff that's being said is flat out outrageous. Even this year alone, to add on to he's not really a quarterback way back in 2018, you can't, let's see, I want to run down what I have so far. Not a quarterback, should go be wide receiver. Oh, the offense can't play from behind. You can't win with this style of offense. Lamar quit on his team. Lamar faked an injury. He's not really all that hurt. And now it's his MVPs are fraudulent. I mean, I'm at the point where I didn't even think it could get any more crazy than it already is now. But this right here is just crazy. I mean, it tops everything right now. A unanimous MVP is fraudulent in a league when Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers were playing really well, still at their advanced stage. Guy gets voted unanimous MVP, and that's fraudulent. I know Lamar Jackson has not been great in the playoffs. I recognize that. He's 3-5 in the playoffs. He had a really bad game in the AFC Championship game at home against Kansas City, a game that the Ravens probably should have won. We all get it. We get it. He's a great quarterback. He should be playing in the Super Bowl at this point. He should make a Super Bowl. But to come out here and just add to the list of garbage that has come with Lamar since he's entered the draft, it just, what the hell do you have against him? What do you not like about Lamar that makes you say things like this? You don't see it from any other player, especially any other quarterback. And by the way, if we want to talk about overrated quarterbacks, the most overrated quarterback in the league is Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He does not get talked about enough. He does not get brought up enough. I'm going to bring him up here. Trevor Lawrence is the most overrated quarterback in the last 5 years in the NFL. Number one draft pick. Everyone's talking about how he's the golden boy. He's the can't miss number one pick. He's the generational talent. You can instantly win a championship with Trevor Lawrence. MVP's loaded. All this stuff said about Trevor Lawrence since he won that national championship at Clemson. What have you done, bro? One playoff win. And an all-time choke job from the Chargers and Justin Herbert, who were up by 31 points. I believe they were up 31-3, and they gave up that lead to Trevor Lawrence. That's his only playoff win. Since then, it's been, it's the coach. Let's change the coach. It's the offense. Let's get him more playmakers. It's all these excuses, like they do for Josh Allen. Look, Josh Allen's the reigning MVP. I got no problem with that. Do I think Lamar should have won the third one? Sure. But the excuses keep pouring in for Trevor Lawrence. The excuses keep pouring in for Justin Herbert. The excuses keep pouring in for Josh Allen as well. But when it comes to Lamar, there's no excuses made. There's accusations. There's things like, you're not really a good quarterback because you can't win in the playoffs, or your MVPs are fraudulent. When are we gonna keep the same energy for guys like Trevor Lawrence? When are we gonna keep the same energy for Justin Herbert, who also hasn't done anything? He hasn't even won a playoff game. We talk about Trevor Lawrence winning one playoff game. Justin Herbert hasn't won any. The last time we saw him was against the Houston Texans. He stuck up the joint. It was horrible. But the last time we saw him before that, gave up a 31-3 lead to Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence. Let's change the coach. Let's get him more playmakers. It's not Justin Herbert's fault. It's never their fault. The most overrated quarterback in the league is Trevor Lawrence, I think, in my opinion. And once again, Jacksonville looks mid to not a team that no one's taking serious. Because we knew. Even when Jacksonville got to like a 4-1 start, I was like, whatever. It's not going to matter. They'll fall to mid-tier, to lower tier, just like they always do, because their quarterback isn't that good. We can talk about coaching, we can talk about the offensive line, we can talk about lack of weapons, blah, blah, blah. At some point, we got to look at the generational talent, the number 1 overall pick, the guy that everyone says you can't miss on. What have you done? What are you doing to elevate your team? When it comes to guys like Lamar Jackson, we don't talk about when the offensive line doesn't play poorly, when Daniel Faalele whiffs on blocks and Lamar takes huge hits. We don't talk about that. We talk about what did Lamar do. We don't talk about, how still the wide receiver room isn't something to knock your socks off. Yeah, Zay Flowers is playing really well for you, but it's still inconsistent outside of Zay Flowers with the wide receiver room. There's no A.J. Brown. There's no Brian Thomas Jr. who's having a down year, but does that come back to Trevor Lawrence a little bit, or are we still going to make excuses? We don't talk about all these things. We always talk about what Lamar is like. What have you done? You didn't throw 5 touchdowns against the Minnesota Vikings. You had a very pedestrian game. You were very, average. Against an aggressive defense that normally turns you over and causes all types of problems. We don't do that when it comes to Lamar. We just make excuses for all these other guys. Josh Allen just lost to the Miami Dolphins, who were 2-7. You know what people were saying? They should have got a pass. They should have got a pass catcher at the trade deadline to help out Josh Allen. The offensive line should have blocked better for James Cook, so the running game would be better for Josh Allen. We don't highlight the 2 turnovers that Josh Allen had, the fumble and the interception in the end zone. We don't highlight that. We talk about everything else, just like Trevor Lawrence. Keep the same energy with every quarterback when they make mistakes. I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson doesn't make mistakes and makes bad plays at times. Oh, yes, he does. He misses throws. Yes, he does. He's lost playoff games that he probably shouldn't have. Yeah. But why do we Microsoft and laser sharp focus on Lamar Jackson in particular versus these other quarterbacks who were taken higher than Lamar Jackson when they were drafted, right? Again, generational talent, can't miss. Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence. Why do we have to have different energy with these guys? Why do we have to look at the coaching staff? Why do we have to look at playmakers or lack thereof, or make a trade for a pass catcher? We don't do that with Lamar. The media, the ESPN, sports media, all the sports shows, they never do that with him. Never make those excuses. But they'll do it in a heartbeat for Trevor Lawrence. Bleacher Report is just the latest example of a bunch of idiots who never played football, probably in their lives. If anything, they made JV football in high school. Varsity football at best, but didn't play. And they're the ones that are commenting on how good a quarterback is or how overrated a guy is. And you've never seen an NFL field in your life. This is the latest example of BS when it comes to Lamar. Why are we surprised?